is doing very well, but still youths are affected with this. And the majority of the admissions as per last year are between the ages of 15 and 35. Majority of them are having drug-induced psychosis, which is the primary problem in this country and at Tanka Tanka here.
So far, how many patients have you at Tanka Tanka?
The capacity of this hospital, I want to just remind that we are talking to the Association for the Mentally Disabled and not Tanka Tanka staff directly, though some of us may work at the hospital, but we wear the cap of this association. Now the hospital has a capacity, from my research, has a capacity of 100 patients, but as we speak they have an average of 80 to 85 patients per time. They have this average number of patients, but among these it's only 8 to 12% who are usually females, and the majority are all male patients. They are the most affected with regards to mental illness.
Yes, the youths, of course, looking at the, like, totally when we came in and then saw a few of them, they're all young people. And then going back on the streets as well, we still have people who are on the streets and then they are not here. What is your association doing to solve that problem? Because most of the time, well, people are scared that they might hurt them or they might hurt their children.
One thing we're very proud of, to be associated with the Changemaker show, it's hosted by youths. And this association comprises also of youths. We believe we are the most affected. If we don't shoulder the responsibility of helping our brothers and sisters, no one will do it for us. Now the hospital don't have that capacity to go to the streets and pick people. Remember, the capacity is just 100. The association also don't have that capacity to pick people and be bringing them. What we do is most of the times to engage in advocacy. We are always on the radio, we are on the TV to try and talk to families of how best they can help their individuals who are sick and in the streets. Now, the concept that the mentally ill are very violent is wrong. I live in Bundung. Every day I hear a crime, 1 or 2. But seldomly in a year that I would hear a crime caused by someone who is mentally ill. In fact, it's the so-called healthy individual who causes most of the crime than those who are mentally ill. If the mentally ill were violent and very harassing and killing people, sometimes at Tanka Tanka we are just 3 in number taking care of 100 patients. We would have all been dead by now. The concept is you don't run away from the mentally ill, you don't insult them, socialize with them, give them medication and provide them food and shelter, and you co-harmonize and cohabit with them in the same area. They do nothing.
Yes, because the discrimination attached to mental illness and people who are affected it's too much. You go on the streets, people don't want to talk to them, people don't want to help them, people avoid them, and I think that discrimination alone too has an impact on them as well. I think, well, it's a call for a change.
Isolating these people in society, I think it's our responsibility, we as a society, to at least embrace these people. You listen to them, especially their families. You cannot just isolate them like that. You listen to their needs, listen to their demands, know exactly what they need, and then you try to sit them down. If you listen to them, you will get an idea exactly what is happening with them. And therein, you can come in, try to apply the sensitization programs by counseling them, because one thing we lack in our society is the families of these people. They lack the skills on how to deal with these people in society. That's why the association is there, to at least go to the media, try to sensitize the public on how to deal with these people in society. They need the protection, they need our protection, they need our guidance, they need our control, and they need our care and support so that they can live harmoniously in society. If they do not have these three things, I'm afraid, if you see them, you start telling them they're deaf, they are nyamato. It's not nice. You cannot tell them that. The stigma that you're putting in them, at least try to frustrate them. It is not good. We should try to talk to them in a peaceful manner, try to know what is affecting them. If we live with them in society, we understand their situation, I think things can solve in our society. The society needs to change, as you people are saying.
Yeah, I think another problem that will be like most people have the notion that any mad person on the street, is in one way or the other affected with supernatural things. Like you do hear people saying, "Ah, ki dang ko liggéey, doma yu ñoo ko laal," and like if you tell them that sometimes these things can be caused by drugs, people will hardly say that you are mad because drugs cannot cause certain things. But most of the time they believe that there is an enemy outside, an external influence who is trying as much as possible to spoil the life of this particular individual. What do you have to say regarding this?
Now, the first point we would want to correct is the idea that drugs don't cause mental illness. This is a concept that is destroying our society. Some people will ask you this question when we are on the radio or TV, that Dauda have been smoking for 20 years. Nothing is wrong with him. And Lyman is smoking for just 6 months and you say it's caused by cannabis. What people fail to understand is we are as different as our fingerprints. The way our brain works and the threshold at which our brain accepts substances are different. So this is why it can cause it and it is causing it. Let us forget about that concept and try to accept the fact. Now, we belong to a society where these concepts are deep-rooted. The association don't concept people. We converse with in some of these concepts. We tell them they are wrong, but as far as we know, we've books and from experience, we don't that it is genuine enough to say it is by supernatural being. We don't condemn that fact, but as far as we know, it is founded anywhere in our book. In fact, when you look at the issue of psychiatry, so anytime you are mentally ill, you are a witch. This concept was changed in the early 70s to the 80s, early 17th century to the 18th century by French and some German scientists. And now it is accepted that you are not a witch when you are mentally ill, but you are a victim of some abnormal circumstances in your system.
Okay, and like I'm sure some people watching might wonder like some of the facilities that have been provided in here by Tanka Tanka. As you said, some of you, are staffs of this particular medical institution. So I'll just like you to give us a brief synopsis as to, some of the rehabilitation measures that you have in here, the activities, that you engage these people in, for instance, if they have stress, to be able to control, their level of stress, if they have mental disorders, to be able to rehabilitate them properly and make sure that they fit back into society.
We have a rehabilitation expert who will come, but Tanka Tanka, as I said, we don't have any machine or any special facility where when someone with mentally ill comes, you try to change the brain, remove that brain, put something else. No. What happens here is very, very simple. In the morning, we will help all the patients to have their shower. Then they will change their clothing, we change their bed sheets in their rooms. Then they will go to the garden. Each patient is named after one bed. One bed is named after this patient. Then this patient will be very proud to take care of this bed. We'll be watering it, we'll be taking care of the bed. At the end of the month, we try to harvest and organize what we call social evening for them. Then from there, some patients will go to the OT to play games, listen to music, watch movies, do tailoring or do drums and etc. Then others will be seeing the doctor for consultations every day. Then from there we will give them their medication, their breakfast and everything. Then we counsel, we chat with them. This is what we do, and each and every family member at home can do the same. We don't have any magic. This is what Tanka Tanka does, and it is working. The rehabilitation aspect, we need more than Tanka Tanka. We need more than this association. This is why we're calling on everyone, association, individual, to come and help us, because we, the association, are ready to make some changes, and we will for sure, inshallah.
Yeah, as Dauda was saying, Dauda was just talking about the therapies that we give to the patients here. You have something like music therapy, to socialize themselves.
Yes.
You have this gardening things that they do. When they are there, some of them, you know, they like to do gardening. When they go there, they feel like at home.
Yeah.
These are all things, as he said, these are all things that can be done in the society rather than here. Because one funny thing about the society is we tend to stigmatize these people. We isolate them in society.